And welcome to another episode of Curse of Mother Misery. Tonight we're playing the module Curse of Strahd, but it's changed, transformed, and we're playing in the system and the setting of Frostmark RPG, everything created by Marc. There's a content warning for tonight of bad language, heavy topics, gothic horror, and perhaps some gore. We shall see. But with me I have a wonderful cast of players. I got Lady Lyra, half of Omegas, played by Julie. Hello, welcome.
I will kill this blood-sucking shrubbery.
I'm Murdia, Changeling Warlock, played by Cookie. Hello, hello, hello.
The trees are evil.
Next of the Vistana, Tiefling Bard, played by Adrian with the bad mic. Hello.
Why'd you gotta call me out like that?
And then sadly, Sir Asphodel Dragonborn Paladin, played by Aeronox, has just recently left the party and will be soon filled by somebody else. Alright gang, what happened last time?
We fought trees.
Wait,
Did we though?
Yeah.
well, we started off in Kresk, or leaving Kresk.
Yeah.
We did leave Kresk and made our way to the vineyard finally.
Well,
I mean-
we had a bit of camping. We went to camp as well, and whilst we were camping, we found traces or some sort of footprints from what seemed to be like some sort of beast that led nowhere, and it was a mystery.
We also lost Asphodel, just, throwing that at the start there.
Yeah, and
that's
yeah, but
parted from the crew.
Yes, she departed. And then, basically it was camping, and then we were looking for some weird stuff going on, and then we continued on the next morning, and we were assaulted by strange shrubs and twig-like creatures, and we just nailed him. And as he did a great thing with her ability to chop things down, and Hamatia saved the day by summoning the termite swarm.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
Ilaria decided to just do the same thing that the shrubs were doing.
Yeah. She went sucky on them.
Yeah.
Yes.
She got some interesting powers that you guys didn't know of before.
Ooh, oopsie. Also, then there was a black cloud coming towards you that you thought were bats, but it was not this time.
It was
Ravens.
and we were then found by, I want to say it was Erwin's older brother?
Indeed it is. He said it
A
was.
junior Martikov.
Who's very attractive. I remember that.
Aren't they all? And he coerced us to, follow me, and we're like, fuck you guy, we don't even know who you are, Mr.
Illyria was
Martikov.
like, I inherently trust ravens and, raven people.
True, I suppose. So we did the thing. We were like, are you sure? Sus checks, and just make sure Mr. Bushman isn't an actual sort of bandit.
I mean, if he was a bandit, he would be in for a very bad time.
In any case, we were escorted, somewhat reluctantly, to a camp, and that's where we left it, I think. With cats fighting in the background.
I'm so sorry!
You backtracked a little bit to a safe spot for your horses and wagon, and then you went back. And that's when we are going to start again. Thank you. Let's go back into it, shall we?
oh, I love this music.
That's good.
It's so mildly worrying.
The somewhat disheveled, but still quite handsome, Darius Mortikov seemed to contain an endless amount of stamina, despite allegedly being the older brother of Urban. He keeps low to the ground in between the rows of rotting vines and brings you down winding and narrow paths with a confidence only someone very well versed with this area could. Now, he doesn't tolerate talking, immediately hushing anyone who tries to talk with a stern and worried look in his eye. Sometimes he stops and kneels, abruptly so, and listening intently, sometimes for minutes in the cold, steady rain. At first it irked you, but as you also noticed the sound of shuffling in the distance, you didn't complain. Here and there Darius looks to the sky, seemingly watching the flight of 3 ravens far above you, and then guiding you in a new direction. What had probably been a nice 20-minute ride down the main road takes you almost an hour now to complete, with moments of high intensity and moments of minutes dragging on by whilst you sit still and wait. By the time Darius straightens and relaxes, at the foot of a rocky knoll, you are soaked to the bone and perhaps a tad bit frustrated. In front of you, there is a dramatic stone hill with evergreen trees and bushes sprouting from any exposed surface. It has a path that sometimes zigzags up and sometimes flat out demands you to climb to get to whatever sits at the 50-meter or so above ground apex, hidden by trees and bush. Above the hill, several ravens haphazardly fly in loose circles around it, and here and there the wind carries to you a raven's shriek.
But also
Right, just up this we go, and you can meet the rest of my family, and especially so, my father.
What? Yeah.
Not to call you out or anything, but it's kind of wet out. You plan on keeping us, in the wilderness for much longer?
I mean, it's not that cold outside, but if it bothers you, there's a campfire up there.
It's more about the rain, and I have, he slicks back part of his hair and it's all matted and flopped because some comforts that I would like to attend to.
It's not that bad.
There's not much really around for that nowadays, but feel free to go back to where you came from.
Excuse me? I mean, we didn't necessarily ask for your help. You came dragging your ass out of a bush and said, "Hey, follow me." And we're like, "Why?" And you said, No, shush, come with me." And we still really don't know exactly why you are in this position that you think you're in. We were fine without you.
Something's wrong, and we should speak to his father. Are you okay, Nix?
He slicks his hair back and it's all in a terrible sort of way. I'm fine. I'm just not used to just being left in the dark for so much. And this infernal. He gets really kind of frustrated with something inconsequential as part of his hair as he takes out a twig and says, "This unnecessarily anonymous trek through. Where the fuck are we going?"
Alright,
Hey,
come, Vistani. We needed to be quiet back there, because there's more of whatever attacked your wagon. And if you're trying to head towards the vineyard or the people that live there, well, this was the only way to do that safely. But if you want to turn around, don't visit the Martikov family, which I thought you wanted to do, then I can
would
lead you back.
like to visit your family.
I got one. Well, it's not. I didn't. It wasn't.
I thought so.
It's
At
not
least from
like
what
I
I've heard
don't
from
want
Danica.
to visit your family. It's just more like you just appear out of nowhere and say, "Come with us," and I don't know. I'm a little bit on edge. I'm sure your family and I.
Well, thank you for saying so. They are very nice. It's very dangerous around. With the help of the ravens, we can stay clear of them. But they are actively searching. Actively searching for us. Here, in the cover of all of my friends, we can be somewhat undisturbed.
I assume you're gonna elaborate on the they later, or?
But I thought Danikas and Irvin sent us news of her interactions with you, and I thought she said, right?
She said what?
He makes this overt gesture to the ravens that are circling above the hill.
Yes, we know all about that, but you seem to be under the impression that we know more than you think we know. We were merely tasked with coming to this vineyard because the wine production had stopped and there were some strange sightings of what clearly we have just discovered. But beyond that, we are here with that amount of information.
Oh.
So your choice to keep information away from us and being all elusive and broody is not helping us or our situation. If you want us to help you, help us fast.
He scratches the stubble on his shin at that.
7:30 for you?
Well, friends, there are certain things that Davian, my father, he kind of sets the rules down in this family of what is considered safe to share or not. I mean, I can say that for 3 weeks now, we have been attacked by bush and bramble, but I cannot really say more than that, unless I get his permission.
Then we should continue on and meet him, right?
Well, that's why I
What's
brought
the
you
plan?
here, to hopefully do just that.
Zalyria kind of like tries to fix Nyx's hair up a little bit and to kind of like gives him a pat on the back.
When you start like fussing with him, he's like slaps your hands away, like, "No, I can do it myself." Like a mother, trying to like.
She finds this very amusing. Like she does it more out of like to bully him a little bit.
Like he looks like a drowned rat, and like Illyria is fine necessary with her Jedi robes and hood, and Hamati is just fine with it because she kind of looks normal going through wilderness. But Nyx is wearing things that are with cloth and fabric, and like he has sashes on his tail, and his hair is like all meant to be propped up with like pomade, and it's like he looks literally like a drowned rat, and he is not looking happy about it.
I'm pretty sure Nyx is, he can. If somebody can pull off the drowned rat look, it is Nyx.
If anyone's ever watched like The Emperor's New Groove, when the llama is in the rain, like completely drenched, it's that kind of situation, and his mood is not being helped by this guy who says, "I'll tell you, but I'm not gonna tell you." So he's getting frustrated.
And then on the other side, you have Darius with kind of a little bit of dirt on his cheek, you know, the healthy stubble. There's this ranger hood that is on. There's like steam coming from his pecs. And he still like looks this ruggedly handsome despite the rain.
Who is that description for?
Is that for you, Bexxy? I mean,
No, I'm just describing how it's like.
and then let's be on with it. Why are we pausing here?
I'm just making sure that you're fine with all of this. Okay, well then, up we go.
Maybe we should get you some more appropriate travel clothes.
Nick's like looks at Illyria like that comment doesn't help his situation right now.
I actually think, Nix, you should probably dress in what you're comfortable in. And you seem comfortable in these garments for the most part.
I'm just not a fan of squelching whilst I walk.
Well, I'm sure you can warm up once we're there. How much further is it?
Darius has already started like making his way up, kind of hoisting himself on a boulder, looks down on you and just points up.
It's like 60 meters, he said.
Yeah, 50 meters.
Oh, look,
Yeah.
So we have to climb up. It's dirty. If it's raining, there's gonna be like mud, like trickling down the.
Yep.
I'll help Hamati her up like the bigger boulders,
Oh. That's kind.
and like half using her as like an umbrella whilst I do.
Alright, but it's not that hard, nor is it that long of an ascent of the knoll. But it's still very uncomfortable with icy fingers and toes, and that balance and grasp, slick stone surfaces, rough fruits and branches, and cold mud. But Darius, taking the lead again, he calmly calls out any pitfalls in the short but sharp journey, reminding you a little bit of Asphodel. As you crest the apex, you look down into a somewhat sunken apex floor, surrounded by tall evergreen trees and large boulders all around. The middle is somewhat flat and spacious, but has been claimed by tents, boxes, sacks, and other scattered belongings. In the middle, there is a communal fireplace with a rain roof and various cooking appliances and instruments. Sitting on a crate is a old man with a sagging posture, a wide, long beard, heavy, dark clothing, and black beads for eyes that stare with open hostility towards you by that fire. On his shoulder, there is a raven that sits, that shrieks at all of you once, and dozens of ravens follow suit with their own shrieks from the shadowy branches of the trees all around. It's clearly a warning.
I raise an eyebrow and look around at how many, and like try and get like a sense of the amount of ravens.
Give me a perception intelligence.
Ooh, give me a hot second.
We can give you even 2 hot seconds.
It's more like 2 cold seconds right now. But yeah.
Maybe like 1.5. Kind of hot, kind of cold seconds.
And that 20.
Whoa!
Oh, Jesus.
There's a lot. And since you have been keeping an eye out for ravens and observing them since you come back to Barovia because of these ancient prophecies, you estimate there's about 4 swarms around. Darius flashes this nervous smile to all of you, and then immediately calls out to your left. It's all right, Steph. It's the troublemakers we have heard about. There's a pause, and then stepping out from behind a tree is a lithe woman with a crossbow in her hands. She has similarly dark eyes and hair, and she lowers the crossbow from having it aimed at you, but she hasn't stowed it away entirely yet.
What's with that hostility? We were escorted here by one of your own, and also instructed to come here by, well, more of your own in Falaki. You knew we were coming, yes?
I think they're just a little bit jumpy and frustrated as you are, right, Steph? Father? This Steph looks towards you all, to Darius, and then over to Davian, who seems to, after a brief pause, give a nod to her. And after that, she relaxes her stance, swings the crossbow up over her back, and she jumps into the knoll proper. As soon as she does, there's 3 children who immediately comes running out from a tent. One larger one that is red-headed, and 2 smaller that are black-haired. And then after, there's a red-headed man that peeks out his head from one of the bigger tents, the same tents, with a tightly wrapped bundle in his arms, who seems to call out to the children, who surround Steph and seems to be worried about their mother.
Oh.
Lastly, then, from a tent in the background, there's this dark and long-haired young man that takes a single step out from that tent and also looks at you all curiously.
Oh.
Oh, right. Let me introduce everybody. You have my capable sister, Stefania. Oh, I'm gonna point. Stefania. Her husband, Dog. Their children, Claudio, Martin, and Vico. The little bundle of joy with Dog is Yolanda. This is my younger brother, Elvir. And, of course, our father, Davian Martikov. They all nod in greeting to you.
Pleasure to meet all of you.
Damn, you caught all those names. Good job.
A pleasure, I would say, if it was not under better circumstances. Not that I truly believe that the introductions are necessary on our behalf. After all, our reputation is starting to get ahead of us. But nevertheless, since we are newly acquainted, I am Nix Navare of the Tsepul Vistani.
Hello, my name is Hamadia of Somewhere.
Lady Illyria Feathermore.
I thought there was going to be a big silver dragonborn with you. Says the female, Stefania.
Decided to
She
stay
had a-
behind and take care of other business.
But we do have my cousin here, Esmeralda, who is more than capable. Say hello, Essie.
Se has been hanging a little bit in the background, and she wasn't really a part of this Volaki thing, so she's been following your lead for now. And as soon as she noticed that there was a crossbow aimed at her, she has been resting just her hands on her two weapons on her hip, and she just gives this long nod. Right. Friends, you said? Esmeralda of the Vistani as well. There's some polite greetings that are offered by the various members, but Tavian has yet to speak yet.
We have heard that there are problems here around the vineyards. We were visited not too many moons ago by Muriela, suggesting we make our way over here. We had many things in our way, but we are here now. So, if you would be so kind to... And he shoots a glare over at what's his face?
Darius, Damien.
Darius. It's we are sorely lacking in information. After all, it's been kept from us all this time. We are here to help. At least that's the intention. But how can we help if we do not know what the problem is?
Shouldn't have led you here. You do not realize how dangerous it is for you to seek us out. Foolish! Danica was wrong to say so much as she did. You must promise, henceforth, that you take that knowledge to you to the grave. For that, you will have our gratitude. Now be gone.
You want us to leave now? This seems a little bit strange.
Dog.
Clearly,
Oh.
Clearly, you guys are not doing well. Otherwise, the situation would have been resolved already. Sorry. Maybe we are misunderstanding. He looks to Illyria and looks to Matia. Maybe you're fine by yourself. I mean, if all things are fine.
No, wait. Davian, you can't be serious.
I think that wine is overrated anyway, so I think we should better be on our way.
Dog was the one that spoke there, and then he looks to you all a little bit panicked. The guy in the background with the dark long hair also takes a step forward. Please, Father, this is just simply unacceptable. We are about to lose Vineyard to those savages.
Please, let us help.
Thank you. But no, we can handle ourselves. We do not need them to make things worse. They cannot be here.
I mean, I'm not a wine connoisseur, but the situation doesn't seem to be in your advantage.
Take care of whatever your problem is and be on our way and never come and seek you out again after and leave you to your vineyard.
Father,
She's just die. It's fine pass.
Father, they are right. We cannot handle this, says Stefania, who has now pushed all the children and dog as well into the tent and away from the discussion. We have tried for almost 2 weeks now to reclaim the vineyard. My children's home from them. We need their aid. Be that as it may, but Davian is also right, Steph. Darius interjects. They have not only once been to the castle, but they've been there twice, and have shown special interest in Illyria. We cannot risk discovery. That would not be losing our home, that would be losing our lives. Stefania turns to stare at her brother Darius. I understand that, but we're also slowly dying like this, exposed, running out of resources, sickness. I have a toddler, brother. Are we going to live in the wilderness?
You're right, Darius. We have visited the castle twice. And even before the first time that we went there, we knew of the ravens. And yet your secret is still undetected. What does that say about us?
It's just a matter of time. You do not understand the mind-bending abilities of vampires.
Oh, I think we do understand.
Oh, so you have felt it sing then? Then you must know that it's inevitable if he ever decides to ask the question of you. Easy now, father. We gotta discuss this, really, if this is worth it, says Darius.
The next time we meet, he won't ask questions anymore.
We are on.
Davian starts to laugh, but it ends in a coughing fit.
Are you willing to lose everything, Davian? For the sake of, what, pride? Or maybe your insecurities about letting others outside of your family assist? If it is reassurances that you need, clearly you are a well-traveled man. We are on our own travels too. The travels that culminates in the obliteration of Strahd von Sarovich. And in doing so, we have made steps that have not been made for centuries. We have discovered things that would bring about his downfall.
For
what have you found?
Almost 5 centuries, my family has taken care of things in Barovia, and we have seen many travelers saying the exact same thing you are saying now. Promising this, promising that, promising to end all of this. They're all cold and dead and in the ground. Why are you any different?
Nyx looks to Illyria. And then,
Illyria holds out, the sun sword.
With a broken sword. Strahd must be quivering in his boots.
Oh, I'm sure he will be. Tyranny is never an acceptable necessity in a cruel world. I vow to enforce this will with this sword in hand, even if my flesh may rend and my skin burn in its light.
Wait, are we doing this right now?
not fine.
Light bursts from the sword.
And as that happens, Nyx wants to like make sure that he maintains eye contact with Davy and like, cool guys, don't look at explosions now. Like silhouetted in the sunset.
Okay, I see. You get your cool points. Don't worry about it. The whole kind of cradle here at the apex is basked in light, and Davian's bushy white eyebrows that he has looked at you all disapprovingly through this whole time shoots up into his hairline, and he almost falls over from the crate.
I'm pretty sure I just murdered this man. He's gonna have a heart attack.
Like one hand like grasps over his heart, and he like immediately starts to cough after the first wave of shock. And Darius is also staring with kind of the same amount of emotions, but not as frail as his father. Steph and Elvir immediately comes running up to Davian and like holds him in place and like tries to right him. Elvir is trying to like massage his back to end this coughing fit, and like Steph is like asking, "What is happening, father? What's going on?" My word! The sun sword! They have the sun sword! How? It was lost! Strahd broke it! From the Dragon Knights! How? What?
We managed to reclaim it.
Like I said, more things than have been done in centuries, old man. We are not the inept travelers that you may have encountered before.
We should do this for sure. He like finally rights himself and like finishes coughing fit and like tries to regain some calm. I am impressed, but one sun sword does not equal a dead vampire lord. Who says you have the capability to wield such a weapon?
I mean, I do have military training.
Listen here. We put out the mythical sword right in front of your face, and you still hold doubt in your heart? So what, if she is capable, according to what, your standards, to wield the sword, then you'll just think of something else? I mean, you try so hard to deny the truth that's in front of your face, which is things are getting different, and you can be part of it, or you can stand aside. I don't care which. But we're not here trying to please you, we're here trying to do a job. So, what do you say?
Darius has started to rub his shin again and says, well, this definitely changes things, but are we sure we want to throw them at the vineyard? I mean, guys, we all know that even if we reclaim our home, we will not reclaim our livelihood. The vineyard is dead, and we all know why. We gotta start over somewhere else, maybe. So are we gonna... No, I think the little one is right. You better prove to me that you have that capability, and maybe it's time for the keepers of the feather to risk everything. Ha! And it would be me that task would fall upon. Almost 5 centuries. What took you so long? Well, I shouldn't celebrate already. Clear our home from the invaders. And if you do, well, then we can talk shop.
All right.
And to help us do that, would someone please, finally, tell us what exactly the fuck is going on?
Oh, right. My strength is failing. Darius, you can take care of that, will you not, my boy? Yes, and as you wish, father. Oh god, okay. Boreas, we shall do this. Give him a rest.
Oh, yes.
And Elver kind of helps his father into the tent as he's like shaking on the hand that holds his walking stick, coughing, and like he's like almost bent over when he walks. He is old and very frail. But they go into the tent. Stefania calls out her husband and the kids, and they gather around by the fire, brings up more chairs and things to sit on underneath this rain canopy above the big fire pit, and they scrounge up whatever that was left from their lunch and invites you to eat and be warm.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
Good food.
Warmth. Like Nick's like wrings out his jacket
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah. And Darius also takes a little bit to eat. Not as much as you do, probably because he's already done so, and he just watches you with a bit of a smirk on his lips as he brings out a pipe and lights it. Takes a big swiff, and I don't really know where to start. Where do you want me to start?
at the beginning.
Now, to make things clear, Father said that everything will be revealed after you have proven yourself, but we are free to talk about now what has happened here.
I'm all ears.
Oh.
And Nick's like takes out his book and like his quill, and looks to take some notes.
The native people of this land, in the common tongue named the forest folk, used to thrive in this valley once upon a time as a sort of hunter-gatherer society. They weren't advanced or anything of note, really, but they seemed to be happy and made things go around. Then, when the Savage Empire made their home here, the poor forest folk was not deemed important enough to interact with because they didn't have anything to trade with this more advanced society. And they were pushed to the outskirts of wilderness around here, and the Barovians claimed most of the fertile heartland for themselves. Things have been rather quiet from them a very long time. We didn't really bother ourselves with them. But they have grown more aggressive over the years and less keen to negotiate. They also seem to have forgotten most of the common tongue and seem to have created their own language. It's very hard to communicate with them, even and in those rare occasions that are willing, otherwise they keep to themselves like everyone else is the plague, and if you have something that they want and they believe that they can take it, well, they will do that in force. The vineyard, in truth, has been under attack for a long time. Not only by the forest folk. And his eyes quickly glance over to look at Amardia before settling back on kind of looking at the trees and the rain and the fire as he retells the story. There are certain things that have happened that have started to make sections of the vineyard to die. It happened first with Chepin de l'Estompe. We have tried to keep them at bay, but they have learned and grown for each attack, and we have been careful to show our truth to them. About 3 weeks ago, we noticed that they have settled, a lot of them, maybe a majority of them, had settled on Jester Hill to the south. We were concerned because they have never been so many and so close, and our worst fears were true. They started attacking us, and about 2 weeks ago they succeeded. In part by these animated plants that they command. The last of the vineyard has now died, and they have occupied our home. They're probably still there and searching for something of high import. Thankfully it's not there, but they certainly think it is. Otherwise I think they would have burned our house by now, and I think it's going to happen soon when they realize it has no use for them. We are concerned what they are going to do with the peace that helped along parts of the vineyard. It's an object of some power. Only time will tell, I guess. There are both those who are good with heavy weaponry. They are usually of a Goliath tribe that lives with the forest folk. But there are also some who practices a ancient form of magic that's probably been passed down through some oral tradition. And that can cause some issues. But they are not the most well versed with the arcane arts, but do have their tricks. And then this whole area is practically teeming with these plants. And we have yet to figure out the link. What is animating them? And how are they being controlled? I'm sorry if that's frustrating little, but that is truly all we know, or what I can say now.
That's a lot more information than we have before.
And you've been fighting these creatures for 2 weeks, you said, trying to take back the vineyard.
Yes.
What have you learned about their behaviors? The vulnerabilities? We're trying to help here, and any extra information about what you have learned will be most helpful.
Keep out of the way from the big ones. They hurt the Goliaths. The druids can be tricky. Do not underestimate them. As for these plants, they are weak and unassuming at first, but if they touch you, hurt you, they grow exponentially more difficult to destroy.
We have learned this already.
Ah, that's good. Astute. Focus fire. As soon as somebody is starting to grow, well, destroy that together. And keep away so the others cannot hurt you, to make sure that they are as docile and weak as possible. They are also particularly flammable.
And what are these druids? I mean, we've fought these twig creatures. We have never seen a druid.
They, as I said, usually keep to themselves, away from the settlements of Barovia. They seem to wield some utility magic, animating plants. There has been moments where they gain a natural speed. I need to check my own character sheets. Second.
No, I just find it curious that these druids are wandering around this wilderness, plagued by these cursed twig creatures, and they seem to be cropping up amongst them. Is there any correlation? I mean, we have one of our own that is able to summon and create things. Is this another instance of them creating them?
Their conjuration skill, from our records, have never told us that, especially at this magnitude, that they could summon or animate these creatures by their own. And the souls required for this is staggering.
They're certainly coming from somewhere, no? Unless there is a community of these twig creatures nestling somewhere in Barovia, which I have never heard of.
Perhaps they are some sort of... Well, the thing is that it's not like my creatures, since mine aren't infused with souls in them. They are part of a spell and will dissipate after a while. These ones seem more permanent, like some sort of weird put a soul in a tree and the tree moves sort of deal.
Or they were born with a soul.
Do you think these creatures are born? Some sort of army of sapling soldiers?
You've never encountered these things before, right?
No, and in the whole history of Barovia, this hasn't happened before. There are two interesting points here. The forest folk has always had a peculiar relationship with one of the Night Apostles.
Goody, which one?
The one of the south, Rin. We're not entirely certain how the relationship goes, but we have discovered so far that she seems to have a protective streak towards them. Worked with them, interacted with them. She has yet to, from what we know, depart arcane mysteries upon them, so why has it happened now? Is there something more at play than just Rin's relationship? And then we fear that that same object that aided us in making sure that our vineyard blossomed could be used against us at this moment. We have never seen it to be twisted in such ways, but then again we never went looking for another use for it than what we did.
We have come across many instances recently where something is stirring within Barovia. There is a culmination of something, and I have no idea truly what it is. But it all seems to point towards Strahd. And from our perspective, what did you call yourselves? Knights of the Feather? Clearly oppose him.
Keepers of the Feather, but we have a more ancient name that we do not speak anymore.
Because
fear of using it. Does it really matter? Keepers of the Feather is supposed to be highly secretive as well, and yet here we are.
no matter what you call yourselves, what you are is what matters. You are a group, a community, an army, some could say, that oppose Strahd. One could make a correlation that what is happening here in this vineyard is meant to keep you busy as Strahd weaves his little threads.
This has concerned us, yes. We have been unable to be as active as we did in the past. We have relied much on Muriella and Danica and Irvin. Things shouldn't be like this.
Who desperately need wine, by the way. Just saying.
It has helped to thicken our pockets, and when Raven's eye can find out the truth, then a few coins in someone's hands usually did the trick.
So, just to sum up, just so that we know that we have got it right. For some reason, a few druids and tree folk came up and took over your vineyard, and you've been fighting to try and get it back. You don't know exactly the origin of where these tree folk are coming from. You have your suspicions to one of the knight apostles in the south. But that's as far as your knowledge goes, right? This isn't anything beyond your current expertise.
Yes, there's another layer of concern here, though. Because there is not only one object that has made the vineyard what it was. There's three. And over time, all three has been taken from us.
Right. Sure. Why would it be simple? And do you know where these are or who has taken them?
We're pretty sure, considering, well, this is only a theory. I'm about to say game theory. I need to stop.
See you next week.
Bro credits.
Scarecrows are a creation of the mightiest of the Night Apostles, Babylon Saga of the Beres Swamp. There was another great war, you could say, between us a couple of months ago. And those scarecrows also managed to get through our defenses and eventually found this object and took it for themselves. Probably bringing it back to their creator. Then, mysteriously, a whole decade ago, under unknown circumstances, somehow the first was taken from us. And Champagne de l'Estampe dried up. And the most recent one, just a couple of weeks ago.
What do these?
Taken by the forest folk, who has a relationship with Rin. Now that's 2 Night Apostles, somehow directly or indirectly connected with 2 out of 3 of these artifacts. I'm sensing a pattern.
I have a weird question, if I may. So, Strad wants the vineyards to run, if I remember correctly, doesn't he?
Well, he has never disturbed us.
I'm not
Did
sure he would.
order that mayor in the vault take care of the vineyards, didn't he? Or... I just don't know the names. I just remember everyone's talking about the vineyards and Todd really getting upset about it. But the thing is, the Night Apostles answer to Strahd, so why would they do something that contradicts his will unless it's some sort of test for that mayor? Or...
Wait, back up a little bit. Strahd said something about wine to who?
I don't know. I think it was the Bergen master of some sort of village. I think it was Barovia village, maybe?
Barovia village does not have the fertility. Nobody does, not anymore. Not without magical.
Guys, help me here. I'm not really good into the whole political structure of Barovia thing.
Well, Barovia village has a new burgomaster that is under... He is currently training that vampire to become the next burgomaster, very awkwardly.
That vampire?
It's the
Doru.
priest's son, Doru.
Father Donovich's son that he's kept in the cellar.
Yes.
He was tanned. One of Strahd's spawn now.
But the Kolyanovich family is not the young Ismark is supposed to inherit? Have you ever heard that the last burgomasters died, but Ismark should have taken over?
Well,
He has been usurped. I believe by
what was his-
Cantemir,
Cantemir, yes.
the
Cantemir.
asshole of a vendor that was ripping everyone off.
Builder
He
of
is in league.
Mercantile. Him?
The same.
That spineless fool.
He is grooming I'm training Doro.
Actually, he had this really weird, like he had this weird red necklace, right?
Red is not right, but he did have a necklace. I did point out
Yeah.
a few times. Make me an intelligence check. Use your raw intelligence.
20?
You
30, 20.
remember that Cantemir had a leather necklace holding a big jasper stone that he kept on kind of fiddling around with, but he did not wear it at the masquerade ball.
Jasper stones can be red.
Most of them are like brown, like
Yeah,
chocolatey,
like
coffee,
brownish.
yeah, brown,
Sort of.
caramel brown, yeah.
I don't know why I remember that, but like
Well, we know he's in league with Strahd too.
What
He was at the banquet.
kind of stone did you say?
Jasper.
Stefania and Darius kinda straighten their backs and look at each other. There's a silent conversation that is going on between the brother and sister, and both of them have big, excited but worried expressions on their face.
Is it obvious? To us?
I mean, obviously, it matters to them.
Yeah, I mean,
I-
Alera looks between them like she's
Same.
she's very confused and kind of like wants to be let in on what the importance of that was.
We cannot be certain, right? I mean, Jasper Stones just... can be a few of them, right? Circulation, and these are shop.
Okay, can you spill the beans, please? Come on, this is a group conversation.
There's
We
like
try
a
to-
question of like, again, the conversation going on between the two that are secretive, and both of them look at the tent and then look where Davia disappeared from. And
Are you insinuating that Cantemir is holding one of your crazy little artifacts?
I mean, at this point, we kind of ruined it. We should have been more careful with our reactions. I don't think I'm gonna get murdered in the sleep over this. They are stones, yes, and one of them is Jasper.
Why would he have that?
We may have seen others. You've divulged one. We are here to help. That much is clear. We hold the Sun Sword. We aim to end the curse that is swallowing Barovia. We are clearly allies. Tell us what the other stones are. Maybe we can help. Maybe we have seen them and we can tell you where they are. If you're saying that one is, well, you said Baba has one and Rin has the other. If Cantemir has the third.
I would really rather not.
Listen, I might be able to help a little bit with the three folk.
I'd rather not get on Davin's bad side, so...
But if they
Maybe we
already
should
located one, Darius, then maybe it's worth the risk. If they find the others, that's... you know exactly where they are. That seem valuable. Stefania's right. They're pebble-sized, smooth, oval-shaped. There's one of Jasper, one black opal, and one tourmaline. They are very mundane when you look at them. Touching them is another thing altogether. It's how to describe. And they all have their own emotions. And Jasper Stone was the last one to go. Recently stolen.
And
Of the purple
hypothetically, let's say we recover these stones. Let's hypothetically say, where are we going to take them to restore the vineyard back to its proper? No, just to restore it. Like, what's the deal here? Where were they to begin with? Where were they stolen from?
You would bring it to us and we would hide them. So no one would find it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Like-
fail to see how that would help the vineyard.
Well,
It's
those
very
stones-
hard to make anything grow in Barovia. There's something wrong with the land itself, and the lack of sunlight does not help. Root vegetables and things of more hardier ilk is easier, but vine, grapes are notoriously frail. They have a certain innate magic that boosts fertility, plant life. Through that magic, we have produced wine for Barovia for all these years.
And just go with me on this one. You've managed to grow things that couldn't necessarily grow using magic. And now they are withering, and in their place, there is something more cursed that is either growing or becoming real.
I have the same train of thought.
Have you noticed any sort of increased population as you've been flying around in your birdie forums?
Increased population of whom?
Of these creatures. They're coming from somewhere. Maybe. They're clearly not generated or summoned in the same vein as
A
just
couple of weeks
casual
ago,
magic.
we didn't even know they existed. And then suddenly they're everywhere. Well, at least around here.
Right. Well, maybe we're gonna have to ask a druid or two. So what's the plan here?
Well, first things first, we can assume that they operate under the orders of the hag that controls them, which I might know the name of. So, if they are operating under, well, her name is Rin, well, perhaps we should try to seek out the truth from the head of the snake.
You wish to go to Baba?
It's not Baba Lizaga that controls them, it's Rin of Mount Gakis.
So I fear that we will have to pay Baba a visit eventually.
If
It's
Both
the fell
Baba and Rin are up to something, then I think Baba... Rin hasn't been doing much. We have tried to archive her comings and goings, but she has been very passive. Baba, on the other hand, has her things in most things. Her fingers in most things.
Definitely.
If Rin is
And-
doing something like this, then I'm sure that Baba knows a thing or two about it.
How far away is Baba's lair from here?
How far?
Yes, I mean, if we are going to see Baba, it will take a while, I believe.
Gotta go out of the lowlands and then into the hilllands. Probably have to go through the pass. Then you will be in the southern, like, forest that's just south of the marsh. And then as you head up, the Ivlis Delta is there, and the marsh, and the ruins of Beres. But I would be careful. She protects her land. It's hard for us to come and go. Many ravens die when we send out spies.
It is regrettable that you know this information, that there are stones that you need to, bring back the vineyard. But you also have this immediate threat. Without any known origin of where things are coming from or how they're being created. And your numbers are dwindling. I think that if we are to tackle this problem and Cantemir has a potential lead, maybe you can send some ravens there and watch him.
He wasn't
Bring back.
wearing it at the ball.
Maybe he's wearing it now.
Well, I think Cantemir can help us considering the pressure Strahd put on him. So I think he'll be more than happy, and if he doesn't, we can make him happy with it.
My concern is that if we go into the vineyard now and squash and burn as many of these creatures without knowing the source, if we go away and recover these stones that you have lost, scattered amongst Barovia, we come back and there are more and we have wasted efforts. But then at the same time, you could be overwhelmed unless we do.
Do the Free Folk have a commander that you saw, some sort of authority figure other than Rin, that is, that you saw giving them orders?
From what we know, usually the druids are the wise folk, and usually they listen to the druids. It doesn't seem to be an official kind of strict hierarchy, but it seems like the druids are the one in charge.
Then I suppose we should have a word with the druid.
Yes, we can have a little chat with them. No, have a little tea.
Sounds like a plan, and hopefully we can get some more information.
Maybe if we clear the way, you can set up fortifications in the vineyard should more come. Depending on what we discover.
Sounds like a plan, I liked
Deal with
it.
stones.
Maybe since you're in the area, maybe we can send some ravens with you, and or even I come, and we also go investigate why they are on Jester Hill, of all places.
Sorry, where?
They gathered, as I told you, many in numbers, close to here. To the south, there's a specific place called Jester Hill. It's, there's a constant storm over Jester Hill. And there is a peculiar phenomenon that you can see from its apex. We do not know why it is, but in the clouds and in the mists directly to the northwest of Jester Hill, there's a permanent vision of an ancient city in the clouds.
What?
And okay. I realize the weather is terrible and it's a lot of information to reveal to a group of people you've just met, but you could have told us a little earlier.
Well, I just told you that they're gathering for them. Well, we don't know what it is, Jester Hill. We thought the magic, whatever is going on there, considering what the curse is doing, that it might be best to keep away. But if the forest folk are gathering like this there, of all places, well, now I'm starting to wonder that we should have looked harder.
Right. Oh, this is going to be a hell of a day. Okay, guys, so take care of the vineyard. Clear it out a little bit. See if we can find a druid or something. Ask him some questions. If we don't get anything, our next lead is big old spooky hill with a giant city in the clouds for some reason.
And maybe Cantermere as well if we don't feel like getting into a spooky hill.
Well, the birds scout for us. They'll be much faster to fly over to village Barovia and let us know if it's there. If he's not wearing it anymore, then we have a bigger problem. We have no lead.
Thankfully soon, we might get some information about the village of Barovia and the state of it, because you did ask earlier for Muriela and other ravens to keep an eye on the village and this certain Lydia and Victor.
Yes, I believe they will be close by to Cantemir. So maybe we have already done some.
Expecting word soon from them.
Okay.
We might learn something about the village. Well, okay. This is a lot for a rainy afternoon. But let's take it piece by piece. You have a task, a challenge from Davian, and that's to clear out the vineyard. No, the manor, to be precise. From what we know, there is at least 2 Goliaths there and 2 druids. Not entirely sure, but at least. And perhaps 30, 40 around the house. And inside of it. Of those plants. There are several points of entry. And 3 floors.
Any one of your number willing to help us do a little bit of weeding?
Yes, I think me and Stefania will follow. And if you would require it, we could send 2 swarms of ravens, but we should not, in case things doesn't go too well. The swarms here are a protection for the young ones. I do not want to risk that.
We might need them later anyway. Let us go just us for the time being.
Alright. And, well, it's only me and Steph that are capable in that regard. But we will fight for our home. Don't worry about that.
Do you have any supplies here?
We're running out of rations. We got water and can-do attitude.
Nothing
I won't
else.
hold you over that much longer.
Well, we have a couple of crossbow bolts, but I think me and Steffi are gonna need it. We haven't gathered a great arsenal. Our ancient task has never been that of open combat. It's always been to gather and keep information to those who can use it.
Naturally, but you could, I don't know, make some flaming bolts if you know they're susceptible to fire. I mean,
In this rain?
well, not right now. I'm just saying, if you've been fighting for 2 weeks, you know, it's not been raining for 2 weeks. Nevertheless, we are here now, and clearly, looking at Davian, we have arrived. Not too late either.
Okay.
So, we will.
Let's get down to business and plan this attack. And with that, we gotta take a break. Alright, we filled your glass and go to the toilet if you need to. Pet your pets and be back for another hour of roleplay. Woo! Okay, I'm gonna refill my drink. I'll be right back. Back
Let's get down to business.
to defeat the plans.
Wow!
Did they send me
You know what, right? At some
scrubs
point.
when I asked for prophetic warriors?
Did they send me level 1s?
I at one
Level
point
15.
wrote like a version of that when my bard taught our warlock how to be a bard. Because they broke their pact and they took a bard level instead, so we had like a bard training montage.
Also, I want to point out how awesome that scene was with the, with the sun sword. It was really fun.
Hey, you just pull out the fucking lightsaber.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, Illyria was like, okay, maybe he knows what it is, and then I was like, okay then, make fun of my broken sword. I will show you.
General Kenobi.
And then I felt bad for a second, because I think I almost killed the old man.
Also, very much, I am so proud that you remember my innocent little comment about a Jasper Stone necklace like 70 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Well, you pointed it out, so it had some importance, probably.
But still, 70 episodes ago. They're really good.
Well, you know. So still laid up in order session.
Need to do like some big thinking. Is there
Like
anyone that we've ever seen with a black opal or a tourmaline?
I don't know. I just know one thing.
Go on, sing. I don't know why. It doesn't
Like,
even matter how hard you
I
try.
remember two things about our encounter with Casimir. And that was that necklace and that I told him where to shove his gold coins.
No, Cantemir, not Casimir.
Cantemir? I did say
Yeah.
Cantemir, didn't I?
Yeah, no, Casimir, it's okay.
Cantemir. I mean, he needs something shoved up his ass too, but...
I mean, maybe that would make him less depressed!
Oh my god.
Oh no! You just
Maybe
get laid.
Casimir just needs some good old-fashioned dick!
Fuck.
Casimir needs a good old pagan.
Oh god. Yeah, and I'm also proud that Cookie remembered something from the ball. There was more information there. That would have been cool.
I did remember something from the bar.
Yeah, you did. You did. You were the only one. But
Star did berate him about the fucking vineyard. I remember that.
there's a little bit more that you seem to have forgotten, but that's okay.
Guys,
Wow.
was like, oh, either you get the wine production back or I'm going to fucking kill you or something.
I'm like doing some big thinking about whether or not those other stones have been mentioned. I don't believe a tourmaline has ever been brought up. But a black opal, but I could be mixing my own camping. That's a black diamond.
It would be a twist
Honestly,
if Casimir was a person with a
how
third
much
stone.
I
Yeah.
remember about a certain part in the campaign always very much depends on like my mental state at the time.
That's fair. Okay. Okay. But are we ready to continue?
One thing.
Oh.
No, yeah, already.
You don't know why?
It doesn't even matter how hard you try.
As part of the planning to attack the invaders of the Vineyard Manor, Darius takes you on another little excursion through the rotting wines to get a view of the manor house itself from afar. So you can get an idea of what you're up against and how it looks. The path is even more dangerous because the amount of times you have to stop or go around that sound of something rustling in between the vines, those appearances increases as the closer you get to the house. But with the Raven's help and Darius' expert, his connection to the land itself, you do manage to get a view of the house.
What a dump.
Yeah, looks like someone took a shit over it. Like a big green shit.
He
If your shit's green, I have other concerns.
Oh my god. He points out some things for you. These are the stables. They're not connected with the main house. This is the loading dock. There is 2 doors in the back of it. One that leads into a big room with vats. The other one leads into a hallway. There is a door over here that he knows that is locked, that leads into a barrel making workshop. This is a veranda with some grape presses, and there's 2 big doors for to move big, big many liters of wine back and forth in between the 2 processing areas. But there's also a smaller side door that he also knows is locked. There's a well, there's a little outhouse over here, but there's also a side door over here that he knows is open, that also leads into the big vat room that they used to, they escaped through this path when they had to evacuate, when it became too much for them. There's also a back door in the back that leads into a glassworker's workshop, but that one is also closed and locked. These doors doesn't necessarily need to be locked now, because they could have been unlocked by the forest folk that is taking up place in here. But their Raven Scouts still say that the door here on the side remains open. Not locked or closed, but like ajar.
Good job.
Try. Thank you.
You said it right.
Yeah,
You did the thing!
we're proud of you.
It's 50-50.
Inspiration to you.
Oh God.
Can
Please
you
don't
get player inspiration?
Yay. There's okay. Do I get inspiration, Cookie? Do you want me to have inspiration?
Only if you use
Or
it on
Esmeralda.
the NPCs
Only
that are
to have
helping us.
Yeah, on Esmeralda only.
Okay, Essie can get an inspiration. That's okay. And he's also whispering to you that there's more creatures over here and more creatures in the back also. Like in the back on this side and in the back of that. They basically surrounded the house. And there's another Goliath in the back.
Have there been any sightings of any druids?
Darius informs you that they have seen druids were a part of the attack on the house, but they do not know how many have stayed and if some of the forest folk have like exchanged places with each other. They do know that they, since they were able to regroup and send ravens to keep an eye out on the place, they haven't seen the druids leave, if there are druids still there. They suspect at least there to be a few, but they do not know where they are or what they're doing. Well, they suspect that they're searching. He then creeps a bit away from the place, and eventually you get back to the just in front of the knoll. But you're not heading back up again. But here he knows that you can stand straight and do not worry about being attacked. And he turns to you and asks for your thoughts about how to do this.
Well, last time we fought them, we had a few swarms of termites to help us out. But souls and energy being as they are, I don't know exactly how strong we are in comparison to that fight. We know that our mission here is to secure the manor, one way or another. We don't know whether or not these druids have an ability to command or create these other twiggy boys. But clearly, well, from what we heard, they take directions from. So I would say the first thing that we should try and do is find a druid. But
Dad, we would
On
need to
the-
get inside.
true. And on the other hand, we are here as much as we are doing our very best to avoid confrontation. We did promise ourselves. We have to stand up to things. And with the help of Stefania and Darius? maybe
Darius is
we'll
my
have-
name, yes.
Maybe we should just do a full-on assault. We should just go in.
By the main road? Well, that's bold. But I guess the simpler the plan, the better.
I mean, if we can lead some of them away first, maybe so that they don't all come together, that would be the best, so that we take them piece by piece.
Distraction is in order here. I
I
don't.
was thinking maybe we can distract them somehow.
As much as I think we can just like ban them all, I don't think we can take on that many 3 people at once. We are heavily outnumbered here.
We do have 2 raven swans at our beck and call. Perhaps we can use them to lead away as many as they can.
It's a bad idea.
Otherwise, another idea would be to try to stealth in, find ourselves a druid, and barricade ourselves in a room somewhere.
I mean, if we managed to do that, well, fire is not going to be much use inside the house.
Yes,
Rather not burn the place down.
elevator would be very sad if we did. But outside, do not worry about the crops. They are useless. They can all burn.
How do you feel, Amatir? You still got some juice in you for some more
I have a
Faith
lot of
friends.
juice in me. I feel
Did we have
rested,
Did
and
we
I'm
have a
ready to
short
go.
rest, by the way?
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
Sure.
before you went out on this excursion, you had a short
I'm all magicked up and ready to go, but before we go, I do have something that I need to do.
Wait, do we have someone who has like medicine?
Yes, I have medicine.
Oh,
What do
you need
need?
to get some back some HP, or?
Yeah, because Illyria's pretty banged up.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I went too fast ahead.
No, just
I-
like because it wasn't explicitly said, and I didn't just want to go ahead and do it.
I have
pushed.
+1. I have 1 proficiency in medicine. I don't know if that's enough.
But one rank of medicine is enough to use a medical kit to heal somebody's HP, so they can roll the HT in a short rest.
Yeah, so I can say retroactively that Amatia patched up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm allowed to roll as many as
Yes.
Yeah, it's like pretty shit. It's like a pretty shitty patching up compared to Asphoda, but
Look, Illyria is happy with any patching up.
it's like you feel like the wound is going to get infected at some point, but you know, like Hamatia spits into her hand to wash it, you know. But she knows how to like do a tourniquet. It's fine.
Bexxy.
Illyria makes note to like have Nyx take a look at that later.
Yes.
A mechanical question. given a character will know that there's downtime about to be had, patching up wounds, a short rest to be taken.
Mm-hmm.
Mechanically speaking, from a sorcerer's perspective, he could theoretically convert all spell slots to sorcery points to top himself up before taking the short rest, and then get all the spell slots back. Nespa.
Yes, that is technically correct, but you would still be rolling soul checks, you know?
For conversion?
No, if you cast your spells, right?
No, but like a sorcerer can convert spell slots into sorcery points.
Oh, and they last... How long
They
do
last
you...
for a
day?
long rest and all day.
Oh, that is
And
a really very good
because
question.
you've put a mechanic in there to say that at a short rest you get all spell slots back, essentially you're saying sorcery points can also be replaced should there be enough spell slots remaining at a short rest.
True, it should change the wording that those spell slots remain for an hour, so at the end of the short rest they like disappear.
What spell slots? Oh, the converted ones?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're gonna have to put some wording in there because it's just something I realized just this moment that you
Yeah, but
could
that's good.
theoretically you basically made a half coffee log.
Yeah.
But that's perfect. That is good to know.
For the
It's
purposes
good.
of playtesting.
We
What's a
found
coffee
a
log?
bug,
For the
people.
uneducated?
Applause.
Oh, it's like a it's like warlock sorcerer where like you can use your warlock spells and get them back on a short rest and make them into sorcery points of that.
Yeah. And you just do that over and over again, and you can take the warlock, what's it called? The invocation to not sleep, and you just do it whilst everyone else is sleeping, so you don't sleep at all, so you don't get a long rest, because at long rest they reset. So you never long rest, you just do 1,000 short rests, and you have 1,000 sorcery points to use.
That sounds so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a sorcery point cap or something what you can?
Well, that's what we're just talking about now with Bexxy. It's like basically making converted spell slots into points could be set at a temporary level, but then you have to have a tracker for that.
Yeah, exactly. And also, it's not a rule in Frostmark itself, but me as a GM, that I only allow for 2 short rests in between long rests.
That's still giving
Yes.
me
Yes.
12 more sorcery points.
Yes, it's still... it's not an infinite amount. Or technically, I don't know. How many could you do in between a long rest? Well, a fuck ton.
A fuck ton. And then you can convert them into spell slots as well.
So it's still a lot, but it's not crazy. At least with that rule.
Not crazy. I mean, and it's also part of my build as well, I suppose, because I use sorcery points for like twinning and other things as well. So it just I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, right now, based on the rules, theoretically, anyone who's a sorcerer could theoretically do that. Just like immediately convert back down into sorcery points.
That's good to know.
So Nyx will do that and have full sorcery points.
Alright, I will allow it this time. But you know, as you roll your HD, you can have an out of, because this is going to be difficult. So you can have an out of character discussion here of how you want to go about this.
Well, there is something I wish to do. It's going to be a bit risky, so I'm going to clue you in. This is not the first time I encounter these fairy folk. It's actually the second one.
Oh?
Oh.
Yes, I met them once and they weren't really friendly. They kind of went all on me. But my sister was there, and the moment they saw her, they turned away. So I'm going to try something.
Oh.
And Martia is going to change her appearance into Ophalia's true form.
Oh. Okay.
Are you sure that it was her form and not something she carried?
Bexxy? Hey, you wrote this! You wrote this!
Yeah, but I wonder how to say. I mean, it's not like you ever seen a jasper stone, a tourmaline stone, or a black opal specifically around Ophelia. And it's not like she explained to you what happened, because she wouldn't do that.
Oh, yeah, so that's why I turned into her.
Yeah. So you're not sure if it was an object she had or if it was just she. I mean, you can make your own assumptions.
I don't know, but either way. So how does... So Ophalia is basically one of Amartya's older sisters. She looks similar to her in terms of like hair color and complexion. But she is a bit curvier and she has a more vicious look to her, almost like a half Amartya, half orc sort of conversion. So...
Yeah. You have yet to get pictures for that. We should get together and do that. But yeah. You turn into Ophalia and it's a little bit like, ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's not how she speaks.
I'm going to declare war, whether Morgantha likes it or not.
So, what is your intention here? You've changed into her. You're expecting to do what here?
Well, in the best case, that will get us a ticket or access or something. We'll get some sort of a reaction that is not blind murder, but in the worst case, I provoke a conflict between two hags.
How?
Well, they do have some sort of you don't touch my land, I don't touch yours arrangement between them.
True, but the other hags aren't here. They're druids.
No, but the free folk answer to ring.
Right, but we would have to let one go, or they would
Yeah.
have to report back, and we are intending to murder everything.
Everything. We don't want to keep someone alive, maybe.
Well, we need the druids to question, but the twig-like creatures, I didn't exactly get the feeling they wish to talk.
No, we don't, but perhaps there is some sort of link. Maybe they are more coordinated than we give them credit for.
Isn't that because of the druids that are controlling them?
But perhaps there is some sort of a hive mind thing. I don't know.
In worst case scenario, I mean,
Yeah, nothing happens, and I'm just
but what do you think about the idea of having some be lured away by some ravens? Do you think that's
I think that's a good idea, all in all.
I think
Perhaps
that might be helpful.
perhaps I can join in as well and lure some of them away with.
No,
Now
you're being
the-
Ophelia. You can't be everywhere at once, Amatir.
No, I mean I can. Yeah, but I have animals that I can bring as well to the table.
Oh, I see. Sure. I mean, that was the expectation, but also termites. You can't do birds and termites, can you?
No, I can only do either birds or termites.
Not termite-infested birds.
I'm afraid
How
not,
would that
Nix.
even work?
I don't wish to know. I don't want either dusk nor dawn to be infested by termites. Thank you very much. So let's keep the birds separate and termites separate. Thank you very much. Ugh.
They could just spit out the anyway. Right. So
Termite breath.
yeah, you can make anything. So meta-wise, so not role-playing wise, do we feel like birds are a thing? Whatever remains, we storm in and shoot down. We look for a druid. Maybe there'll be two, and hopefully we are done here before the others come back. Either way, if they do come back, the idea is that we are making the vineyard more like a fortification for, continued assault whilst we go and deal with the stones. Is that the general idea?
I think that's the idea.
Okay. We will then communicate to Burb distraction, and then no sneaky sneak. We need souls.
Okay.
We need to suck them out. This
Why?
Illyria is all down on sucking right now.
I mean,
very pleased about this
she's
idea.
been down before, but that's not the point.
All right. Darius nods. It's not really my forte to plan this kind of thing, so I would rely on your wisdom on this. But bold.
We'll also
I like it.
check the affiliate route. Maybe we get something out of it, and if that's the case. But Hermatier, just because you're in Ophelia and they seem to respond to you, does not mean they'll respond to us. If you are putting yourself in harm's way doing it this way.
I hate it when you're right. I turn back to Martin.
Maybe when we have cleared the outside and it still remains maybe somebody inside that you can turn upon entering the house. I don't know.
Perhaps. Maybe then your position of being Ophelia might be more relevant rather to someone who can speak. Hopefully, we don't know if the druids can speak, but that might make more sense. Maybe we can fool a druid fast for enough time, and then we can get the drop on them.
Maybe. Okay, and do you plan to attack now? At sundown?
I mean, I have no qualms with fighting at night.
Alright. Then, let's head on up again to the hill. Make sure that Stefania says her goodbyes to her family, in worst comes to worst. We prepare ourselves, and then we go back. Alright,
That's what we do.
let's go to war.
Let's go gardening.
And with that, we're going to end tonight's episode of Curse of Mother Misery.
Whoa!
We're going to war, everybody!
The urns are going to get dunked on one last time.
Harvest
I don't know,
season.
I don't know. Scared.
It's a BYOP party where you bring your own pesticide.